Undead Unluck Chapter 235 is officially out, and this was another fantastic chapter. We got some more world building and origins for Sun and Luna. We got some amazing character moments and really cool action sequences, building up to an amazing conclusion for this chapter. And to make this even better, next chapter, chapter 236, is going to be an extended issue to be 25 full pages, which means we'll be getting more content with the next chapter. Now, I'll take that as a sign that the series is going to end very early in 2025, but how many chapters exactly? I'm not sure, but we'll just have to wait and see, because we still have a lot of stuff to really consider and get explored for with the conclusion of this fight and inevitable conclusion for the characters and world of Undead Unluck. But before we jump into things, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. Now then, on with the chapter. We start with a narration from Luna, saying that far from the reaches of the cosmos, we were expelled by them, and we came here. That place was nothingness. As we see Sun and Luna enter an empty void from a bizarre portal that is on the outskirts of the cosmos. As she states, a space of nothingness without anything created and without a single rule to its name. A space wherein only a single seed existed in the vast expanse of nothingness. Sun then takes the seed and says, "What a poor looking seed. What do they expect us to do with this?" As Luna says, perhaps they're telling us to learn. Sun asking to learn what? Luna says that what we lost to and why we lost. They want us to raise it and learn those points. That is what I assume they mean. As Sun says, and how are we supposed to learn? How could we lose to those we created? I'll create a world that I desire. A world created by a god that is worshipped. I will use the seed to prove to them that I am right. As Luna comes up with the idea, how about this? Until they learn that, we will make them repeatedly challenge us to see if they are strong enough to reach us, as the two of them combine their powers and begin to create Earth. With Luna saying this will be the game. If, just as you say, they are tied down by the rules and desire God, then you win. If they reach a form of strength that neither us know of, and that power reaches us gods, then that will be when. And then we cut to Luna watching the events of the end of the last chapter with FUUKO returning to consciousness. As Luna is asking, why? If you use that power, you will lose it. And doesn't that mean everything to you? As we see, Andy has the heart. FUUKO is basically got repaired from the heart surgery, as the entire Union is at FUUKO's back as they face off against Sun. And before I move on with the chapter, this is a very interesting origin story to Sun and Moon. From what I can gather from here, a few things must have happened. One, they created a whole different world, a whole different Earth or form of existence. But what they created eventually reached a point of power that made them lose and expelled them to an empty place of nothingness with only a seed that they could use to create another world. And so these two all-powerful gods weren't sure what happened and how they could lose to what they themselves created. And so Luna and Sun decided to form a eternally looping game with the beings that they created in order to see which of them was right, whether they would fall and want to end up worshiping these all-powerful gods, or if they would end up gaining a form of strength that would end up rivaling and surpassing the ones that created them. So this means that the world of Undead Unluck is another reality, another world that Sun and Luna created. Only the difference is that they somehow created something so strong that it expelled them to an entirely different far reach of the cosmos where there was absolute nothingness for them to create a whole other world and learn why they were expelled and lost in the first place. Which is a very interesting way to go for an origin story, and I feel like we'll get a bit more of this potentially before the series ends, as we get a bit more of Luna and Sun before they're inevitably defeated. But either way, I like that this is the origin of the whole time looping game between the Gators, rules, and the gods. I think this is a very interesting way to go about things, and I'm excited to see if we'll end up learning more. But it was much needed, and I really did appreciate it. But back to the chapter, Sun calls out to Luna, saying that now everything will be clear. As Sun unleashes a barrage of clones from the literal sun that he emerged from and created, to stare down and face the Union. In an amazing 2-page spread, we see the Sun clones towering over everybody, as FUUKO remembers that this is what happened the last time when they had the loop. And it's in that instance, the entire Union go off and fight and hold back the clones of Sun, telling FUUKO to hurry up and use that thing while they all buy her time. As we see the entirety of the Union facing off against all of these clones of Sun, as within these next subsequent pages, all of these characters end up thanking FUUKO and talking about how she helped change their lives in the current loop, despite how things started off when they first met in the previous loop. With Shen apologizing to FUUKO for being so mean to her, and that thanks to her, he realized so many things, like strength and love for others, and with that, the heart begins to shine bright. We then get to see that a whole bunch of Sun's clones were utterly destroyed by the attacks of the Union, showing that the heart is amplifying their attacks and abilities to actually fight Sun. And Soul is confused by how they could take out one of Sun's clones with a singular hit like that. But Rip and Latla end up saying that goes for us even more. We couldn't agree more. We only ever thought about ourselves. We could never stake our faith in anyone to entrust them with anything. But you met with us once again and added us to your team, as we get a whole nice collage of all the interactions of Rip, Latla, FUUKO, and Andy from the previous loop going into now, as they thank her for it. As this confirms the bonds and strengths that everyone is feeling towards FUUKO in this moment is not only powering up the heart, but giving them the strength to fight onwards. Billy goes on to thank FUUKO next, saying that on the battlefield he knew about how valuable fighting together was, and even then he still did what he did in the past loop, and we get another collage, which is amazing. And Billy apologizes and thanking FUUKO again. Gina also pops in, the best girl other than FUUKO, as she says, just to let you know, I'm the most grateful. Those two here helped change the old me and the current me, showcasing everything we've seen of Gina thus far throughout the previous loop and this current loop. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Gina has developed the most in this entire series thanks to this loop, and she has become one of my favorite characters in this entire manga, and I am ever grateful for that. But yeah, her development was so great, so natural thanks to FUUKO, and she grew to such an amazing degree that I could not imagine this part of the story without her in it. Then Sean jumps in saying that he's grateful because he wasn't able to see anything, but FUUKO helped him see his own dreams, as even more members of the unit keep saying how thankful they are to FUUKO as the heart glows brighter and brighter, as essentially almost all of Sun's clones were completely destroyed, confusing Luna. It's then that Ano-an ends up talking to Luna, asking if she gets it. Every journey till now, every meeting, every hardship, every farewell, those became bonds and formed power. I bet you never knew about this rule. I see, it's not something that you created then. This rule called love is one created by humanity. As in, we get to see a full singular page of Sun being beaten down by the power of the heart in the Union, as all of his clones have been defeated, leaving nothing but a shattered portion of Soul orbiting his head, and Sun having immense damage. And I like the thematic relevance of the fact that these gods created rules, humanity, negation abilities, all that, but a big thing that humans created by themselves was the bonds of friendship, their love for each other, and how they all grow with one another, and their affection for each other. All of these emotions are a human creation, something that was a byproduct of what these gods created this version of humanity for, and that is essentially their downfall. And the fact that the literal weapon that is seemingly the key to win this, and the most powerful weapon, is the heart, which symbolizes the strongest emotion of humanity, which is love, and powers it up, and in turn powers up every member of the Union to stand up against a literal god. I think that just fits perfectly with how this series has been built up to this point. As then, someone calls out to Luna, most likely Soul, asking if she can hear him. With FUUKO and Andy getting ready to launch their assault, Sun says, "Quit messing with me. What is this? This rule means nothing to me," as in the last panel of this really great 2-page spread, Andy and FUUKO get ready to launch a soul bullet powered by the heart to end this fight once and for all, ending the chapter. Honestly, there's not much else I could really say that I haven't already talked about in this review already, but this is probably one of the best chapters of Undead Unluck, period. The fact that everything ties together so naturally, the fact that they're literally using the power of friendship and love in a physical form and it makes sense, and that it's probably one of the best utilizations of this trope to date. I freaking love it. It fits FUUKO's character. It fits how she basically helped everybody in their new lives and helped fix their tragedies to help prevent all the hardships that they've had to go through and the suffering, and how in turn helped FUUKO just reach this level of strength with everyone together to actually face off against these guys and have literally something that only humanity could have created on their own through their own emotions, trials, and hardships. It just thematically, it fits so well in this series, and I cannot love this series any more than I already have. And the fact that it is love, something that these two gods did not initially create, that ends up being their downfall and seemingly is their downfall once more. And I don't know, it just fits super well, and I cannot be disappointed with the series whatsoever. Yes, the manga's final section of the story has been going relatively quickly, but even then, it still feels satisfying. Despite the fact I wanted the Master Rule fights to be fleshed out a bit more, everything that's happening right now in the manga, with these final chapters, with the characters, the theming, how the final blow is being dealt, how they're putting their foot down and actually overcoming the ones that created them, it just fits so super well, and it feels so satisfying. I cannot really feel anything more than just happiness for what's going on in this series, and I cannot wait to see more, and I'm going to be even sadder when this series inevitably ends. At least until we see these amazing moments animated with the Undead Unluck anime. But what did you guys think of this chapter? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. I'll probably start making other Undead Unluck content by the time this manga ends, build stuff up for when the anime inevitably returns, so look forward to that. I don't want to finish talking about Undead Unluck once this manga ends, so I got some stuff planned. But with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.